Yo guys, what is going on? Pandrea here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are talking about the classic force. More importantly, how to never mess up the classic force ever again. Now, the classic force is one of the best forces that you can use when wanting to force a card on somebody. But there are some problems with it. I mean, it is not 100%, and there's a confidence issue in a lot of magicians to doing the classic force because they are afraid to mess it up. What if they don't pick that card? But fear not, my friends, because in today's video, we are going to show you my tips and tricks on how to never mess up the classic force, or at least get your percentage way up there. Now, if you haven't learned the classic force yet, don't worry, I have a full tutorial on it, so you can click the link somewhere there, or I'll leave the link below. You can learn that first and then come back here for the additional tips. Alright, we're going to go into some detail now on how to never miss... Alright, we're going to go into some detail now on how to never miss the classic force with a few adjustments, a few pattern and presentational tips, and a few little things that you can do to just make it that much better. Now, before we get into it, if you like this kind of stuff, I do urge you to go to my website, alexpandrea.com. We are launching officially at the beginning of July. Now, I have a lot of content just like this where we go in depth in detail on sleight of hand, theory, and all these little things that is going to make your card magic and you as a magician so much better. So alexpandrea.com, we're launching in July. I have a lot of content to go over, a lot of things to film, and a lot of things that are going to be packed into it, and you don't want to miss a thing. I'm actually going to start sending out content this week, so you're going to want to go put your email in there so you do not miss a thing and get ready for the launch. So the classic force, for those who do not know, you have a card on top and you want to force it. So you're going to cut it into the middle of the pack, holding a break. And then the idea is, as you say, please pick a card, you go and you time it so that the classic force card, or the card that you want to force that is underneath the break, gets placed inside the hands of the spectator. So as you go, and then you time it so that you ultimately have them pick this card. Now, obviously, there's a lot of tips and tricks to this. So like I said, there is the full tutorial that I've linked below where you can learn the classic force, my tips on it, which really drastically improve, at least it did for me, adding these tips to an already simple classic force. The way that usually people do it is holding a break and just pushing, and then when you get to that spot, you sort of go and then you shove the cards in their hand. So there are a few things in that video that I think could really help you. So the idea is as follows. Let's say you have that card and you have that break just like that, okay? And you're going to say, here we go, please pick a card, which again, I don't usually do. I don't like the please pick a card thing. So what I say in my other video is please touch a card. And that's also going to come into effect with one of the adjustments, okay? So the first thing that we're going to talk about is as you go through, right? Now here's the selected card. Let's turn the face up for now, all right? So you can see this. As you go through and say, please touch a card, you're going to get to that spot. Now, a lot of the times, one mistake that people have is just opening too far and too much to that spot so that it seems too obvious. This is not good. So I like to sort of tone it down a bit. So as I go through, it gets to here, and there's a little bit of a gap, but it's maybe a 3-card gap, okay? Now, this leads to some problems because the spectator could obviously go for the force card. They could go for the one above or the one below, all right? So how do we fix that? So here's your force card. It's cut into the middle. You're going, and you just miss it by one, right? You miss it by one. They either touch this one or this one, and the one in the middle is your force card. So right off the bat, you can say one thing that will give you just another chance, and that is to say, so let's say they touch the one above. You say, which one, right? As if you don't know which one they touched. You go, which one out of these two, basically, and you just stick 2 of them in their hands, right? And then you sort of get another chance at a 50-50 at here. All right, so they touch this one, you go, you out jog both of them, you go, oh, which one? And then you just put 2 of them out. All right, same thing goes with the one below. All right, so they touch the one below, you go. Instead of touching this one, they touch this one, you out jog these 2, and you go, oh, which one? And then you sort of you don't want to make it too obvious. Oh, which one did you take? Was it this one? Relax. So you just give them another chance for them to possibly take your card, and you say, yeah, true, it doesn't matter which one, perfect. They take it. If not, then you could go into one of the adjustments that we are going to talk about now. So if they touch the one above, okay, so this is the one that they're going to touch, Again, this is obviously face down. This is the one that they're going to touch instead of taking it out. So, and this is another reason why you don't say take one. Okay, you say touch one. As you touch it, you out jog this one, and now you're going to get a break underneath the selection. Okay, underneath rather the card that you want to force. So this is the card, they touch the one above. You split this packet away, place it on the table, and you say here, this one, place it down here, and you have a break under both cards. So at this point, you could do one of two things. You can turn away with your head and say, go ahead, take a look at the card, and then give it to them to peek, and then place it back, place the other cards on top. Or what you can do is just turn over the card and show it to everybody, including yourself. That's going to depend on your presentation as well and your personality. See, for me, I don't care if I see the card or not, because of the way that I perform, it really doesn't matter if it's the card is a secret or not. So you can just turn it over and say, let's see what you got. All right, 5 of diamonds, then come in here, take that double, come down here, you're gonna do the KM move. As you come here, take off this card, slipping the top card back onto here and give it to them, or just turn it over and then put this on top and go into your rest of the effect, okay? So that's just one way to do it. Another way is you don't have to take that top packet away. You can just cut everything here so that the out-jogged card is still here. Do this, get your break now, and then either turn it over or turn your head away and say, take a peek, okay? And then you could go into doing anything that you want, giving this out to them, or placing it back and going into your routine, okay? So that's if they touch the card above it. Okay, another way, if they select a card that is above your force card, but by a few cards, so instead of just one card, they choose one that's way above it, right? So before you even get to it, they choose one. Again, you're holding your break like this. Let's turn this face down. So you out-jog their card. Now again, remember, you're saying touch it, so they're not taking the card and looking at it right away, so touch a card. Now what you're going to do is you're going to sort of readjust by out-jogging this card, taking it with the thumb, okay, and you're grabbing all cards that's above the break, and you're taking it out. So you're slipping this card out like that, and now you're readjusting the card that they selected over the force card, which then you could go into exactly what we just talked about, into a double lift scenario, showing it to them, top change, whatever. But that just brings their card closer to the force card. All right, so what if they touch the card below the force card? So let's say that is the force card, you cut it into the middle, hold the break, everything is going nice and smoothly, and all of a sudden, instead of touching the force card, they're being difficult, and they touch the bottom card, the one below it. These spectators. So what do you do? Now, I have been known to, so that's the selected card, they touch this card, so you out-jog this one, okay? I have been known to do something like this, where you take this out and then you readjust it. You go, which one? This one? And then you readjust it and then go into the step of doing the double and showing that card. I don't like it as much, but that is something that you can do. So here, they touch this card, this is the selected card, you out-jog this and you go, which one? This one? Okay, and then you place this down and you say, take a look at it, okay? That's if you're in a jam, and that's the first thing that comes to mind. Another adjustment that you can do is, remember, that's the card, they choose the one below it, you out-jog that card. You're going to now square up the right hand's packet, so you're going to square it up like this, and you're going to get a break just like that. This is exaggerated, with the thumb on that selected card, okay? So from here, as you square up this card, you're going to come with the right hand, tap this packet as to say that was the card you selected, and then give off this card, which ultimately puts their selected card as the force card, okay? So as you're doing that, okay, remember 5 of diamonds is the force card, you're here, have the break, da-da-da-da-da, no, not that one, this one, close up, get your break as you square up just like this, pick up this packet, say, okay, I'm going to turn around, you're going to take a look at the card that you chose, and then you do something like that, okay? I don't use that as often, but that is an adjustment. Now, the last thing that works, I think, rather well is to do the same double lift technique, but this will work if they choose one that is maybe a little bit below the force card, just because if it's just one card underneath, then this next part will look a little bit weird, a little bit suspicious. Ultimately, that's going to be up to you, but let's say here's another force card, 9 of diamonds, you have the break, you go through it. They don't touch the 9 of diamonds, but rather they touch one that's about here. Okay, now of course you're going to hold on to the break and know exactly where it is. Okay, so at this point you're going to cut the deck, okay, or like we said in the beginning, you could just get rid of this half. Doesn't matter because you could work with half the deck. So let's say you get rid of this half, boom, like this, square up, take this card out, then get your break, then come here and show the double to the spectator. Okay, so it's obviously better if it's a little bit lower than the card, but nonetheless that is another adjustment. So you're here, da 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 da. They don't touch this card, they go a little bit lower. You keep your eye on this one, they go a little bit lower, right? Because you see that in spectators, they just keep going and keep going until they get to one. Cut the deck, let's say at this point, and say this card right here, boom, and then turn it over. Or from here, you can lead into a top change or whatever you want to do. Double lift, however you see fit. All right, moving on to part number 3, and this is what happens when they just are way off, right? They either pick the top card or the bottom card or somewhere that it's very hard to adjust. And that happens, right? Because you have these spectators that just, I'll take this. No, you know what? This one. And then you just lose your break. You don't even know where the card is anymore. And it's all, it's done. So the way to fix this, or at least the way that I do it, is using a sort of joke, using your patter, using your presentation to sort of redo the force and try again. Because at this point, you might as well just try again. If you don't, obviously, you can go on to a different trick. But if you're really, have your sights set on doing that particular effect and you want to do a force, instead of just giving up and going for a riffle force, which a lot of people will do, right? You miss the classic force and then you want to do it again, then you just go into a riffle force or something easy. Don't go for the easy way out. That's, I think, a little tip that everyone should take into account. So here is what I do. Let's say they go and they take a card that's way out of the reach of anywhere that I can adjust the classic force to. Then I would do these 2 jokes. So my first joke is this. As they're taking a look at the card, I say really quickly, okay, show it to me. And if you do this just sort of on the spot like that, a lot of times people would take the card and be like, and then you say, no, I'm just kidding, don't show it to me, that's part of the trick. And then you play it off that way. Then you take the card back, place it back into the center, and go for your classic force again. It may not come off as super authentic if you don't do it right, if you don't deliver that line right, but it is still something to consider. So they take a card, they take the wrong card, and they go, okay, show it to me? No, don't show it to me, I was just kidding, come on, give me that. And then put it back, okay? It works. The second thing that you can do, and again, it's all about the delivery, you take the card back and then you say, look, there's no markings on the front of the card, right? No markings on the back either. And then you take a look at the card, peeking the card as a little joke. Now, this is good because in the beginning of the effect, it's not like in the middle of the effect you mess up and you have to start again, right? They don't know that you're starting again. They thought that you were going to make this joke all along. It could be cheesy, but it can work. So if you're the type of person that could deliver this line, it could work. So go ahead, grab it, and then you say, look, no markings on the front, right? No markings on the back. Okay, all right. So that is just a way that if you're left with no other choices, it could be a nice way out. And then you go back into trying the classic force over and over and over again until you just say, you know what, this is the card you're going to take. You're going to take it, like it, and just shut up. Question of the day today is, what would you do if you mess up the classic force? Leave your comments below. I'm very curious. Maybe you have something that I didn't think of, or the people in the comments are reading the comments as well, so you might help them out as well. Don't forget, early July, alexpandrea.com is opening up, so if you haven't signed up, we have thousands and thousands of people already signed up, so it's very exciting. I'm getting all the content ready for that right now. So beginning of July, that will open. If you didn't sign up, link is down in the description, alexpandrea.com. Sign up, and we're going to get ready for more intense training on sleight of hand, card tricks, theory, and everything else. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button if you like this content and if it was helpful for you. Subscribe if you haven't already, obviously. And we will see you very shortly on the next video. Peace.